Memorial Day weekend is upon us, and that means it's time to get out your grill and start cooking.
So joining us now is Chef John Slattery from 4 Main Street Restaurant in Huntington, and we are going to make smoky seared scallops.
Right.
Whew,
because we don't
sounds delicious.
We don't have the grill outside yet, so we don't want to smoke out the studio. So we've got a hot pan.
Okay.
It's pretty hot.
So that's the important thing, though.
It's really hot.
Any scallops on, you want to get the pan real hot.
Right.
But maybe not this hot?
In your house, you don't want to necessarily do this unless you've got an exhaust fan and stuff like that. But we've got the studio. We've got to be a little bit bigger.
There's a lot
more
of space for it to clear
and we're
out.
only going to make a few. So we've got our pan nice and hot here, smoking.
Okay.
We've got some beautiful sea scallops. You like scallops?
I love me some scallops.
That's one of Seth's favorites.
And I've been getting into them more and more because as we've been seeing people make them more and more on the show, it's something that everybody can do.
So on the scallops, these are the sea scallops, and these ones here are about 10 to a pound, which means that they are bigger than 2 ounces each.
Do you want the big ones or the small ones?
Well, it depends on what you're doing with them. We're going to feature these just as a meal, like steaks, next to our potato salad later. So we want the big ones. And what I just did was removed the abductor muscle, the whole thing is the abductor muscle, but it has where it attaches to the shell. This part is very chewy, and will remain chewy. So we want to take those off.
I didn't even know you had to remove that from the scallop.
Usually every big scallop has one, and well, every scallop has one. And
is it easy to find?
Yeah, it's just see how it's very. It just hangs on the edge, and
it's like when you
chewy.
have a chicken breast and you have that piece of fat on the side. I always cut that off.
So we just removed all that. That's important to do because you don't want to get chewy, especially when we sear them up. And now we're going to season them smokily. I brought with me from our signature rib rub and barbecue spice from the restaurant. And it's a blend of similar ingredients to these that we have here. Smoked paprika, cumin, cayenne pepper, chives. We have some mesquite smoke we're going to add to make these a little smokier, something that's different from our blend.
So mesquite smoke, is that the normal smoke that you find if you want smoke?
Mesquite is a very strong one, so I only used a little bit. Hickory is another very popular one, and now applewood is very big. And then we have our signature barbecue rub from the restaurant. We're going to put that on. We're just going to coat one side heavily and the rest of it lightly. And we're going to bring those over to our hot pan.
It smells really good.
Yes, it does.
I love that smoky smell.
I had seasoned this with just a touch of oil earlier, so it's still nice and seasoned.
So you season the pan ever so slightly, but you don't want it swimming in oil.
Not swimming. No, this is for this purpose here. We want it really hot and just a touch of oil. It'll smoke if you put some more oil on it right now.
Oh, you can smell that smoke immediately.
And we're just going to put these on here.
I don't know a lot about cooking, but I know you're not supposed to wash cast iron pans, right?
Well, you have to clean them. And you can wash them with water and scrub them, usually with like a wire, not a wire brush, but a horsehair brush or something like that is the safe way. But then if you do get them wet, you have to dry them completely and oil them after you use them. Otherwise, you can actually just scrub them with oil and wipe them out. So
you can't just stick it in the dishwasher.
No, definitely don't do that. It'll remove the seasoning in the pan. And so we're just going to let these, because like I said, we didn't want to smoke in the studio, so it won't overpower us.
We'll let them slow smoke.
And they're going to cook from the bottoms up. Get that nice sear on one side.
How do you know when to flip them?
We're not going to flip these.
What?
Because by the time that they're done, they're going to be just about perfect all the way through. And then when we go to have our potato salad, they're going to be perfectly cooked.
Oh.
So we're just going to cook them on this side for now. And that'll be the scallops.
All right. Well, hey, why don't I let those go? Because cook has to cook all the way up, but we're not done. As he was saying earlier, we're going to make a new twist on potato salad a little bit later in the show. Welcome back to Mass Appeal.
We're back with Chef John Slattery from Main Street Restaurant in Huntington, and now he's going to show us how to make a Southwestern bacon potato salad.
Oh, yes.
It sounds not like your run-of-the-mill potato salad.
Smoky. The bacon, there's no actual bacon, but it'll taste like bacon because of the mesquite and the flavors in the scallops. But so we had the scallops that that I prepared in that pan earlier, and we let them just finish on one side. Here they are, and they're fully cooked all the way through now without being overcooked. All the way through, so we didn't burn the boat, and it's just got this caramelization on the top side. It'll give us a nice flavor.
It's a little different than the scallops that you normally get in stores and restaurants.
And then we have the pan that we made it in has the flavoring from the scallops and some of the seasoning. It's still really hot. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil.
Oh yeah, it's
because
bubbling.
It's a nice high temperature.
And then we're gonna add some cut vegetables.
And now I have red peppers, orange peppers, yellow peppers, and some spring onions, and a tiny bit of jalapenos.
Those are beautiful colors.
And we're just going to put those into that, pick up the seasoning.
Because
we're eating scallops with our potato salad, we don't have to worry about cross-contaminating. If you didn't have scallops, you could put a little blackening spice and just do this in a pan to cook your vegetables to make your potato salad have this nice flavor.
Now from here, we let these sizzle for a while, and then what did you do to your potatoes?
These were the baked potatoes from the cookout yesterday.
Good.
So I just took the skins off for this potato salad, and they weren't cooked all the way through. They were kind of, when you had the big potatoes, they were a little hard from yesterday.
Yep.
So I just blanched them in some more hot water for a couple more minutes to make them soft. And so they're still kind of warm. But that's okay
That's
because
easy.
when we add stuff together for flavor in the salad, it's okay for it to be warm. If we're going to be eating it right away, you know, it's fine. And our mayonnaise and our sour cream are going to cool it down.
That's true.
Grab this here.
And so this is a meal that you would probably want to serve right away, not let it sit out on a hot summer day.
Yeah, well, this one here would be, you would make it all one shot. As soon as the scallops were done, you would cook the veggies in the pan.
Well, if this was me, I'd probably eat it before it even hit the picnic table.
So they've taken the nice flavoring from the pan, and you can go for a longer time if you want to get them real roasted.
And you can just throw them on there that hot?
We're going to put everything in there warm. This is
Okay.
a traditional method of making it. What we combine the ingredients while they're warm.
And now we're throwing in some mayonnaise.
some mayonnaise, not too much.
This is, was a couple tablespoons probably if you're counting, but yeah, a couple plops.
I'm not
cream.
really
I like
counting.
plops.
Yeah,
Plops are good.
counting by plops. So if you're keeping score at home, it's 2 plops.
And we're gonna put a little bit of chopped parsley in with our dressing there, and then you can decide which of the spices you want to pick. There's 3 different blends. There's one with mesquite. There's
Okay.
one with cumin and smoked chipotle, and then there's the barbecue spice from the restaurant, which
John,
is on the scallops.
Mesquite, that's the smoke taste,
Right,
right?
and that's a wood. So with that, you know how they get the flavor into that? It's really an interesting thing.
No,
In the smokehouse, they with the mesquite smoke, they scrape the stuff off the sides of the smokehouse, and it gets all the nice mesquite flavor. And And
really?
they make that into liquid smoke. They also put, when they sell a flavoring it has in it, they use something along that line because it's not actually wood chips. Mesquite is a wood, so you're not actually. There's not actually wood in the seasoning. It's the resin that came from the wood when they roasted the wood, and
That's
or in a
interesting.
smokehouse or in that kind of setting.
Well, let's use that one.
So that's with
Throw a little mesquite.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there right there.
I can
And
throw in a pinch of this too. Why not?
Sure.
Let's have some fun. It's Memorial Day weekend.
I want to throw in a pinch
go
of
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna say, Laura, go to town. And then lastly, I see some cheese over
Yeah,
here.
we got that smoked cheddar cheese that is smoked down in Connecticut for us. We call it and order it up. We're gonna add some of that in there.
You're saying that's cold smoked, which is a whole different process than regular smoke.
Yep, the smoked cheeses, they have to do it through a cold process so that obviously the cheese doesn't melt into a blob as it's smoking. But it picks up a really nice flavor. So now we have our dressing made of the sour cream and the mayonnaise, some seasoning on the dressing, the nice vegetables that we added the blackening flavoring from the pan. And we're just gonna put a little bit of parsley in there. Go ahead, Seth, throw some in.
All right, hey, you want to mix it up for us so we can see what it looks like?
I love that there's a lot of cheese in there.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as too much cheese in my book.
Oh, no way.
Now, if you weren't gonna eat this right away, you would spread it on a sheet pan, flat, and put it in your refrigerator.
Why a
and
sheet pan?
It would cool it right down because
Would it cook
when you
evenly?
increase the surface area, something cools much faster, and so it could shock it down to really cold. We're gonna eat it just warm because that's how we made it as a fresh potato salad. But if you were to want to cool it down, spread it on a sheet pan, put it in the fridge for like 10 minutes, and the whole thing will be nice and cool.
Well, John, it
there's our
looks
salad.
great. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and a happy Memorial Day to you.
Yeah, as you as well.
Thank
you
you
for having me.
coming.
It was
Thank
my
you for
pleasure.
coming.